Hello everyone, Mike Silverman here, back with another update about the turn-based role-playing game esport that I'm working on. When we last left off, we had just implemented the firewall action, and I said I was going to target the taming beast action as my next project because I thought it was another action that was very different than other actions I've tried to implement in the past. And I want to take care of all the ones that are difficult or that I don't exactly know exactly what I would do to make these get in the game so I can make sure that the programming is able to accommodate any possible thing I could imagine. This was another one that I'd never tried to do before because we've never been able to summon a creature on your team in the game before. We're going to take a look at the game now. Here we are. And we can see we're already in a battle, and there's some things here that could potentially be tamed. Probably it could either be this wolf, which if we look over here, yes, I know the thing is like behind the action menu, but we'll have to fix that later. We have the trait Tameable, so we could convince this creature to join our pack, and then we'd be able to summon it. Cultist, we cannot do that. And then Manta Ray is also tameable. Let's try to get this wolf to be on our team. And to do that, we got to get the taming pet action. So we're going to open up the abilities menu. And we can see that we have this tame pet that we could put some points in. And if you have rank 1, you could get 1 pet slot, and your maximum pet level is limited. And the higher level you get, the more pets you can have on your team, and the higher level they would be. But I will only let you have 1 pet out at a time per character. So this is like you can choose which one you're summoning, kind of like Pokemon. So let's allocate the point, and let's go back. And now we can see we have some new actions. And it's interesting because summon pet it's kind of like it's 5 actions disguised as 1 action. You could summon a pet, but to summon a pet, you would have to have one. So to get a pet, you have to be able to tame the pet. Then once you already have the pet summoned, you could send it away temporarily, so you could get a different pet out. Then let's say you wanted to free up a pet slot so you could get a different pet. You could release your pet. And then finally, you can tell your pet things you want it to do, like attack certain targets or hold off on attacking, which we will see later. So first of all, we got to tame this pet, and you can see there is only a 30% chance. And this accuracy is a new thing I had to add to get this to work, because before the only accuracy that would exist would be uh, this here, which is your accuracy to attack projectile or your melee weapon. And then any resistance to spells would have been handled by the different elements of the spell. For example, if you did a fire damage to somebody, they wouldn't necessarily resist it in the sense that it's like there's a percent chance that it resists. It's just they either absorb it or resist some percentage of it, or they just take full damage or more increased percent damage if it's negative. So there was never like a percent chance to hit for spells unless it was a projectile spell like the Ice Bolt. So we had to add in the ability for actions to be arbitrarily resisted by some whatever you define. And in this case, it is based on the level difference between you, so we're level 4, your target, they're level 1, and if they're missing any health. So like in Pokemon, if they're lower health, you will have a greater chance to tame them. So before we waste our turn and mana trying to tame them for only 30% chance, we're going to attack and then get them lower health, then probably somebody else will tame it. Okay, let's see. We gotta get the spell tame pet on this person as well. So let's just max it out. And then let's see what percent chance we could have now. 61. Well, we could resist. Resisted. Okay. We'll try one more time. Okay, so this character tamed the pet, but then their turn ended because they ran out of action points. We could try to tame this one too, I suppose. It's low chance, but here, let's use the hotkeys, get tame pet. Let's try to tame them. 30%. It's like no shot. Oh, it worked. And they're going under the ground because they're supposed to be flying, but I haven't implemented like flying means you're up in the air. So, but when I made their animations, I made them like do like a little dip down move. You'll see it again when they summon it. So we can actually summon it because we only use one of our action points to tame. So we will go to summon pet, and we have the manta ray to summon. So we will summon it, and there it's doing its little. There it goes under the thing. Oh, there, and then that ended our turn. So one of the other things that came with this is where do you put their little information box? And it's starting to kind of clutter the UI. I did make the health bars more thin to fit more of the plaques in here, but it's getting a bit tight in the area. So we'll just skip this person's turn for now, and we will also summon our wolf pet here. So the other thing is where do I put them? And I just put it to the left of whoever summoned it because, and I spread them out a little bit so they could have space to stand. But yeah, it was another consideration. It's like you want to have more combatants on your side of the field, so you got to put them somewhere. And that's what I have for now. It's just move them over to the left a little bit. Okay, so we summoned our wolf, but we have our action left, so we could, if we had any mana, we could have used pet command, but it costs 2 mana, and we just don't have that mana. So let's just give ourselves some mana. It's going to end our turn, but, well, it's going to end our turn. It didn't even get enough mana to use it. That's fine, because we can demonstrate over here. So we have the Manta Ray, they're on our team, and we're going to tell it to do something. So this is the pet command action. Basically, it uses the conditions that we already have in the game. Conditions would be something like burning, or they're like gonna explode if you attack them. If you've seen any previous videos, you know about it. But this is a condition that changes their behavior. So we could tell it always attack the last target we attack, always kill the thing with the lowest HP, and always pass your turn. Now there's only one enemy left here, so no matter what we do to this, they're going to attack that person. Well, or we could just tell it to pass its turn. That's not very interesting, though. We'll just do this so you can see the condition appears on them. So now the Manta Ray condition has a condition. Always attack the owner's last target. And the owner is going to attack that, so they're going to attack them. It's the only option they have. We'll get in another battle so you can see it working, though. Then, well, we have to kill them so we can go to another battle. There's a few other features we could take a look at once we do that. Now we can use the get mana for this person, and then we'll attack. Probably that will kill them. Yep. Okay. Now another interesting feature with the pets is they can pick up items. That was interesting. This the manta ray I'm focusing. You can see the focus changing when the highlight is changing there. I'm using the hotkeys to do it. The manta ray can't wear those because they don't have enough dexterity. So yeah, we can pick up these items with the wolf. And for now, everyone has the same inventory space, but I was thinking there could be pets that have... What? Where did the items go? Oh, did I pick them up with the manta ray? I thought I was focusing the wolf when I picked them up. That's very interesting. I'm dropping them back on the ground to check now. Oh, this is a bug. Okay. Well, you're live seeing the bug. Apparently, if you're focusing one pet, it goes to a different pet. So the way I'm figuring out which pet is picking up the items is wrong. But anyway, the idea would be like you could find an animal in the wild who's really good at holding items, but maybe not good at fighting. Then you could use it to carry items around. All right. The other thing is pets do level up. So you could see they got 6 experience. They also got 6 experience. Actually, it shows you in the message log here. And then when they level up, just like characters, you'll get attribute points that you could increase them. And you could choose how your pet levels up, which means if you find your pet at a lower level, you'll have more customization of how it grows while it's leveling up. Whereas if you find one at a higher level, it would have some pre-allocated points like it had leveled up on its own. Anyway, let's fight another battle. We're gonna see some other feature. So we're gonna light the wolf on fire. I know it's not very nice, but to demonstrate the feature, we will do it. So now we can see the wolf is burning. Now, what would happen then if we were to dismiss the pet, and then when it's their turn again, they'll summon it, and we'll see what would happen. This person is following the assist command, so we're gonna attack all the way left target. And I got a bug, another bug. The demonstration's broken. Okay, I think I know why that was a problem, but we'll have to fix it later. Now, let's try again. What we gotta do is tell this pet command. Let's put it on kill mode. Now we have two different targets. So the lowest health target is the manta ray. So let's just pass turns till the wolf can get its turn, which is going to be for a while. This guy casted fire on himself earlier. That's why it's like that. So there's something else going on. I think it's because I made fire be able to target yourself. Although I don't know why they would pick that. I'll have to investigate. Okay, so they attacked a lower health person, and we'll just try that again. The bug from before was I had told him to assist and attack my last target, but then we went to a new battle and my last target no longer existed. And it was like, it must exist. Panic. um, so let's see, lower health target is this one now. So we should see Wolf going after them. Yep, so that's kill command. Pretty nice. And then I was going to show you that they will. Oh, I just exploded the ice condition on them. I noticed that after I clicked it, I was like, here we go. Okay, so they're on fire. Now we gotta dismiss them. Notice the fire has turns in the turn order. The fire no longer has turns in the turn order. Now, if we summon them back, we'll have to wait for our turn. So now we'll summon them back. Watching the turn order bar, we should see the fire getting its turns back. And it got its turns back. And they still have their 3 stacks and everything. So in World of Warcraft, when you put your pet away, it takes all their conditions off, but I think that's a little overpowered for this game because it's supposed to be more strategic and difficult. So we got to heal you up a little bit. So well, the team is healing the wolf. Um, oh yeah, they got even more stacks. The other thing is that the pet could die. So if the pet dies, you can still dismiss it and then bring it back later. And I had to do a thing where it's like when they're dead, they have to look like they're dead. So that was a whole other thing. Well, yeah, I guess I could talk about that. It took a long time to do this, but it only took 12 days to make these actions, and then it took about 2 months to do some other things. Yeah, since last video recording has been about 2 months because I recorded that video right after making the firewall, and the firewall is it looks like it works the same now, but under the hood, it's much better because now a firewall could be actually like an action user. Nice, they exploded their ice when they walked over it. But before, only combatants could be users of actions, but the firewall has to use the burning action on you, or like the firewall burn. It can also ignite arrows. These guys are gonna be absolutely deleted in a second. That's my custom death animation on the model for the manta ray. Yeah, so there was like refactoring to make the concept of action users be something other than like a monster or a person or a player character. And now conditions can be action users, like this shatterable thing that uses the ice burst, the burning condition actually is really using the action, and its damage is based off of the like condition properties of what it has. Where before I was making like a fake combatant and then pretending it was a condition or pretending it was the firewall. So it was like a whole mess. So that was like a big refactor. Then when I started trying to put pets on your team, it was like a disaster because the way I had it before is like there's these guys, and there's separate teams, and like moving them between the teams was kind of just really hard to read and complicated. So I started to make it more nice, and this is like a technique I was reading about was you got to program it so it's encapsulated in something called a class, which I don't want to get too deep in technical details, but doing that made it very hard to send data between the server and the client. You basically have to like package it up customly and then unpackage it customly. So I had to spend a long time converting the whole way I was doing things across the entire game to this like it's called serialization and deserialization. But then in the end, I had a way that was much easier to work with, and I could much easier be like, whose team are you on? What are your allies? What are your enemies? And now you are on like this team, and your enemies are whoever is not on this team. So that was much easier to work with, and going forward, it's going to be heckin' a lot easier to work with combatants and such. So after I did that, the way the state updates, like anything that changes on the client is being handled by something called the state management system. So we're gonna tame this pet. They're low health. They should be guaranteed. So there's like a state management. Well, it's a state management library. Basically, helps you update when things change, and the way that is like suggested to program, which is you have classes that hide their information and then they like change the information inside themselves. Like when this person changes their hit points, you say change your hit points, but you don't say like I want you to subtract 2 from the hit point object or whatever. You just say to them, by the way, their hit points need to be changed. You just say to them, I want you to change your HP by 10 or whatever. And they're like, all right, I'm going to do that internally. But front end libraries in web browsers like typically don't like that for some reason. That's just not the way they evolved. I'm gonna do the big heels. Like philosophically. So I had to change to one that, okay, I broke it again. I'm pretty sure we're broken here. Yeah, game's broken now. But we can still talk about it. So yeah, I had to change to a whole different front end state management library, and then that broke the action menu, and I had to started looking at the action menu. I was like, you know what? This also looks like hard to read. I got to redo the entire action menu code, and the action menu is like a lot because there's like all these little things in here. There's also when you get to the vending machine, there's a whole tree of like repairing items and that. There's the abilities menu. There's like a lot of menus, and each menu is its own menu. It's like even especially this one is like pretty crazy. Like let's say if you go in here and then you click this and then you hit escape and it puts you back over there. Um, yeah, so rewrote the whole action menu, and that was just like a whole cascading effect of just, like you just want to summon a pet. Well, to summon a pet, you must first refactor your entire game. So that takes a long time, and now going forward, other actions should be easier to implement. So we know Tame Beast is done, or at least it's proof of concepted, and we could definitely polish it more, but that's fine. Next up is Web. Web, my idea of this is like there's flying enemies, and you want to attack them. So you could attack them with ranged, but you can't hit them with melee. But if you cast this web over them, it drags them down to the ground. Then you can hit them with melee. Then the other thing is the web has hit points, and the target of the web can only attack the web when it's their turn. So this has some similarities with the taming because like you're creating a combatant on the fly. Of course, this thing's not going to have its own turn or anything. It's just going to kind of be a thing that can be killed. And when it dies, it lets the flying thing become flying again. Um, but yeah, it's like I think it's doable, especially with what we've laid down the foundation from taming. Web shouldn't be not too bad. And then we got one, two, three more. So basically four proof of concepts, difficult things to make. And we'll be well on our way to saying that we know how to make different types of actions in the game. So that's where we're at. And I hope that was informative and interesting. I will keep working on the game, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.